And we're back. Welcome back to episode number 2, season number 1 of Think Rugby podcast. Today we're going to be reviewing the Rugby Championship. So we had the All Blacks taking on Argentina and also the Springboks over in Perth against the Wallabies. It was Perth, is that right, Andy?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. I knew it was in Australia though.
Yeah, it was Perth. No, it was definitely Perth. Okay then, right. Also, a hot topic is financial crisis in rugby. I mean, it's been going on for years, but it's just kind of hit a bit of a head with a certain club. So we'll dig deeper into that later on in the episode. Just a quick reminder: TikTok, X, formerly known as Twitter, got accounts there at Think Rugby Podcast, and also Andy Moore's account on Twitter at Andy Moore. Pretty sure it just is. As simple as it is. Okay. Right. Straight into it. All Blacks bounce back against Argentina. Now, raise your hand if you've seen that coming. Because, yeah, exactly. There's just something about All Blacks at Eden Park. If you don't know, All Blacks are unbeaten at Eden Park. It was 49 games, but now it's 50 games unbeaten at the Eden Park Stadium, which tracks back to 1994. That is unbelievable. Actually insane. Like, it blows my mind, like, how a team can not lose a certain stadium for such a long time. But what's that, 24? No, 20 years exactly. So the full-time score, actually the half-time score there was quite dominant. It was 35 points to 3. Now, looking at the game, it just looked pretty one-sided. I don't know if it's just because the occasion, the All Blacks were sore, stinging from the loss the week before against Argentina, but it just seemed like a completely different All Blacks squad. Andy, I mean, I love to hear your take on it, to be honest, because I'm just gobsmacked.
Yeah, well, I mean, the full-time result was 42-10 to the All Blacks, and that maybe sounds like Argentina had a bad night. I mean, they did, but as much as they were maybe bad in the first half, they couldn't lay a glove on the All Blacks. The All Blacks came out, and I was like, even from the kickoff, I was like, whoa, what is that? There has been some boots up the arse, as you would say over here.
It just seemed like the All Blacks, each try just got better and better and better. The first try was then D-Mark from the Jody Barrett little chip and chase. Then, correct me if I'm wrong, Ardis severe pick and go, but it's just him being an absolute beast. And then from there, they just kicked on with Will Jordan with TJ Pevenara coming back to start and have a performance like that. Quick little story about TJ, like back in 2022, I think it was like Achilles he ruptured something and he was out for like a whole season, give or take. And people thought, nah, that was it. But no, not our TJ. He is an absolute warrior and he played phenomenal. And if you want to see how to offload a rugby ball, watch his assist to Will Jordan because it was insane. Out the hand, literally like half a foot from the floor and got the ball away. And Will Jordan did what Will Jordan does best and scores a lot of tries. Will Jordan got 2 that game actually, and then Barrett as well. And that was essential. I think that was all in the first half. Never mind the second half. It was just insane.
Yeah, no, it was. It's been a while since we've seen the All Blacks play at that level, and out the 4 games I've seen them play under Scott Robertson, this was by far the best performance, and they really lived up to their record of 50 games without a loss at Eden Park.
Mental, absolute mental. I've got up here, I'm sure everybody's seen it by now because it's now Monday, or when you see it, be Tuesday. But literally, the unbeaten records, like the longest streaks. So the All Blacks are now 50 at Eden Park. The second longest streak was England at Twickenham between 1999 and 2003, and it was 22 games, which is pretty impressive. The third one is Georgia, which it does count, but come on, between 2004 2012, they're pretty second tier, but it counts as a record. The fourth one is also an All Blacks record, and guess where?
Murrayfield.
You can't write that kind of shit, can you? It's just the most Scottish thing ever, like having a record against you. But yeah, 19 games, consecutive wins at Murrayfield. obviously Scotland's never beaten the All Blacks, but I mean, if you had to never beat one team in the existence of rugby, at least I suppose it's the All Blacks. At least like it could be worse. It could be like USA or somebody like that. And then the fifth one's Ireland at the Aviva, and that's 19 games, and that's actually from 2021 onwards. So that could extend. I'm not saying it could extend all the way up to 50 games, but I think they probably will exceed England's Twickenham record at 22 games unbeaten. But no, interesting little thing there. But I mean, just goes to show Scottish rugby, and just shows once again shows All Blacks dominance. I think this game, also it was like 42 points to 10 full time. So Argentina did manage to get like the wee pity try, but it also just wasn't enough. 42 points to 10 full time. It really does shape up well to go against the Springboks, because I think a lot of people were kind of worried from game week one. So also Springboks absolutely like hammered the Wallabies game one, and then the All Blacks went lost to Argentina. So it's going to be interesting how the teams are going to go. It is in South Africa as well, so we'll see. I do think it's not uncharted territories, but unknown territories for this All Blacks squad. Probably such heavy underdogs going into any test, never mind one against Springboks.
No, just exactly. And I did see the headline comments from Razor about how Razzie and the Springboks are next on the hit list. It's very, very bold comments coming from Razor, because, as I say, this has only been, out of 5 games, one performance from the All Blacks. You're just like, yeah, fair enough. You're the world beaters. You are the All Blacks that we know of. Very, very bold, considering South Africa have won the last 2 World Cups, and in France they bet the All Blacks themselves, albeit under different management, to win the World Cup. So very, very bold, but it is shaping up to be quite a big game a week on Saturday.
I think he's maybe trying to play Razzie Erasmus at his own game, being honest with all the comments and that, because Razzie is the king of comments, and in particular his tweets on Twitter. So I think it could just be that, but maybe you've got to believe. There's no point going into a game and not believing. I mean, you've lost before it even begun. So I think it could be a bit of that. Moving on though, with the Springboks fees Australia, which was, in my opinion, a far better game than the game that was like last week. But actually, I'll let you lead the way on this one, Andy. I'll take a back seat and listen for a change.
So I didn't manage to catch the second half of the game, but the first half I seen, it was a bit of a slugfest. I didn't think, albeit the conditions, similarly to the All Blacks game, it was just pouring down. The heavens had opened, and not a lot of great rugby was being played. Arguably you could say that it was a bit of regression for Australia, because whilst they kept it competitive in the score, no tries at all. And as we said in last week's episode, they only got a try against the Springboks because they were down to 13. This week, okay, there was a couple of changes or whatever, but this was a far, far weakened Springboks team, and Australia still struggled quite a bit against them. Cheslin Colby, I said in the TikTok video that he was going to tear things up, and if it wasn't for the conditions being so bad and the ball being slippy, he would have easily put the Springboks far ahead before half time.
Yeah, fan of Colby, are you?
Yeah, Cheslin Colby is the best winger in the world, in my opinion, at the minute.
Bold statement, but not a bad one. I wouldn't say it's a bad take, but it wouldn't be my opinion. But for me, it'd be Will Jordan, being honest. And 2 tries again. I think that probably does take him up to 33 tries in 33 games, I think it is. Nobody can really match that, to be honest. I'd love for him to keep that record of a try per game. That'd be quite something, but probably not in. We'll just see how it goes. He's still young. He's just 26 years old or something, so he's still got at least 4 years, I feel, in the All Blacks jersey. For me, obviously the conditions were awful for the Australia game, but I feel like Australia really controlled the first half well, condition-wise. They played to the conditions. pull what I'm trying to say. Pull what should have said straight away. But Noah Leo see, I'm choking again.
It's the first time, ladies.
Yeah. Yeah, so Noah Lucio slotted was at 4 overall. I think it was just 3 in the first half. But they're really challenging. To kick in the rain, like you've got to think, you've got to factor in the wet, like it's sliding. You'll be sliding about. If you like slip even just like a minuscule amount, that's you like mucked up your kick. The wind as well, the wind was swirling a little bit. You noticed that with the kicks. But you nailed them, and they were really difficult, like from 40 metres out, 35 metres out at an angle. So well managed. I thought that I thought they'd maybe try play possession a bit more, but I mean, once again, you play to conditions, you kick it, but I think sometimes that we're realising that it's just not worth it. I mean, if you're playing the Springboks, you're really like bogged down into a hard, grueling, boring just game of rugby where it could be a lot of box kicks, just a lot of like power up front, and then just wear and break you down. So I don't know. I just feel Australia's just not suited to actually just compete against the Springboks, and you've not got the ball in hand. Like I mean, every time they've got an opportunity, they generally went for points in the first half. If you've not got that ball in hand, you're not going to score. But then again, if you look at the highlights, it was so like when watching the game, it was slowed down so much. Like the quality of the pass was like far like less, and just literally the pass speed itself was slower. But literally just because there was such less grip in the ball. But that's just the way it goes sometimes. That's when you've sometimes got to tuck up the jumper, play ugly, play physical, play territory instead of possession. The thing is though, score wise, it was like really tight up until I think it was the 63rd minute, which is like 17 minutes to go in a game of rugby. And I mean, that's like usually when most teams pull away, and as the Springboks did, they pulled away. They scored 2 tries in that last 17 minutes, maybe 3 actually. But it was just so no, it was 2 tries. It was like 7 points in it, which I mean that's nothing in rugby. So I don't know, like it could be a fitness issue with Australia, not managed to keep up with that. It could just be the Bob squad coming off the bench for the Springboks played a big part in that, just coming off like 50 minutes, 55 minutes into the 60-minute mark. More and more players coming on, one after the other. It does wear a pack down, like an opposition pack down, especially when it's just that absolute cannon fodder that's coming on. But yeah, it's what you expected. I thought Australia put up a bit of a fight. I don't know. I still love watching Australia. I love watching them develop, and I think they will come good still. Well, this is Australian Rugby League top. It's New South Wales, which is a province side, but I still like to Epic. I love Australia, and I hope they do well. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But that's all I've really got to say on that. Anything else to comment on that, Andy? Or
I mean, I do see your points about the Springboks and how they played. I mean, I remember watching the Scotland Springboks game in the World Cup, and it was very, very limited opportunities. It was not a classic game by any means. And yes, folks, the weather was fine that day. I mean, it was just there was puddles on the pitch in Perth, so not a great day for playing rugby. I maybe need to watch more Australia games, and obviously we will do with what we're doing this podcast. But to me, at the minute, I agree with you. They are building something, but to me, it's not promising to look at the minute with the Wallabies. It's not the best, but they have just been up against the reigning World Cup champions. So a week on Saturday, we'll see how they'll get on against Argentina.
yeah, they definitely got like the wrong end of the stick coming up against them first. Like I think they would have much rather come up against Argentina or even All Blacks first. But I mean, I think they always leave Bledisloe to last. Could be wrong on that, but yeah, it's just one of them things where you just got to prepare best you can. But I think now you'll get a better representation. Now they're playing Argentina, who I mean, they can show they've shown that they can turn it up, but they can also show that they can just be as just as human as anyone else and just have an off day as a team collectively, which they did against the All Blacks just Saturday past as well. So here's a quick question for you. Do you think the Australian side is better now than it was at the Rugby World Cup? And the reason I ask that is because it still seems to be quite a lot of changes and some even more people coming in ever since Joe Smith has taken over. It's a slightly different team. Like, you've not got Carter Gordon anymore. He's away to NRL, I'm led to believe. I'm away to butcher this guy's name, but the winger Nick Nawikagase, or whatever his name is, but it's a real 6'4" tall guy with the mullet, really good player, a really good winger, but he's went to the NRL as well, back to the NRL, should I say. So there's a couple of players there that you've lost, some superstars that they were kind of looking as if like they were the future of, or they were the face of Australian rugby, and now they're gone. So that's why I ask, because there's a lot of changes taking place. So do you think it's the World Cup side or the current side that are better?
I mean, nothing really sums up how bad Australia were in that game against Wales at the World Cup. They were absolutely honking. I've never seen such a bad performance from Australia. I mean, the simple answer is yes. They are a better team now than what they were at the World Cup. However, two games against South Africa, that you still see a lot of the problems that they had.
Yeah. I do agree with that, actually.
But yeah, obviously, I think they did the double over Wales in the Summer Nation series.
Mm. Yeah, they did as well. So that's the thing. It's like, I suppose Wales is the Northern Hemisphere equivalent of Australia.
Yeah.
Two sleeping giants who like have the potential there and the quality there, but they just can't quite get it right. But there's a lot of switches between like rugby union and rugby league, and that between like Australia and Wales as well. Like, Wales have that guy Reagan Grace, he was at St Helens Rugby League, but then he signed for S1E2, but now I think he's at Bath now. Could be wrong, but I think he's at Bath. But now he's Welsh qualified. He's played for Wales on those tests. So definitely against the Reds in Australia. Anyway, what we're going to do is we've got to move on now because I've probably bored you to death with that. But yeah, so we've came up with another little idea, another little game that you can join in with. So it's going to be just a little top 10 quiz. So a topic this week is top 10 All Black try scorers of all time. Now, I've managed to resist the temptation to look, and Andy's got the top 10 All Black try scorers of all time, and he's going to quiz me and see if I can get them all. I'm not expected to get all the tries, but if I get them right, he's going to read out how many tries they got there, and so on and so on. I think, you know what? Should it be a forfeit for if I don't get them all, or would it be?
That is dangerous. That.
No, I would completely just like fuck you over or something if it was your turn. But no, okay, well, no forfeits for today. Yeah, I think I can get 8 at least. I'd be happy.
Okay.
Once again, guys, play at home if you know the answers. Get your little notebook and that out. Okay, right. So top 10 All Black try scorers of all time. I'm going to go with my favourite All Blacks winger ever. And I'm going to say he wasn't actually even born in New Zealand. Joe Rokocoko.
Joe Rokocoko, yep.
What number is he?
He is tied second with 2 other players.
2 other players?
Yeah.
Can I ask how many tries he scored?
46.
46, right. Well, if that's 46, I know one absolute machine of a player who didn't peak too soon, but probably should have got longer. He's definitely up there. Is Julian Savea.
Yep, he is also tied with Joe Rokocoko on 46.
46. Right.
I'll give you a clue for the other guy that is tied at second. I come from the place that his last name is.
You come from the Christian Cullen.
Yes, that's it. That's the third one that is tied on 46.
Nice one, Colin. Yeah, he was an absolute baller. To be fair, no, he was like probably one of my, like an inspiration when I grew up. Like obviously, like you would tire by the time I started playing rugby, but just looking back on like YouTube and just like old videos, oh what an absolute guy. You're from Colin, Andy.
Yes, I am. And
And
folks, it's a brilliant, brilliant beach that is there. Go there in the summertime. I go there anytime.
and where are you living now?
I live up north in Shetland.
I think you left your hairline back there. Hey! No, anyway, back to the video.
Yeah, fuck you.
Doug Howlett.
Yeah, he is the top try scorer on 49.
Is he? Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Now I was really like confused there because I was convinced that Julian Savea was top try scorer. But Howlett 49, wow, fair play. Once again, he played in the era with Rocky Coco and Co. No pun intended there. So I've got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to go. Shit. I've got the easy ones then. Oh, Bowden Barrett.
Yeah, Bowden Barrett is tied on 5th with another player on 44 tries.
44, wow, fair play.
That's not
Nonu.
considering his age.
Nonu.
Who, sorry?
Nonu.
Noru. No.
No?
No.
Oh, no way. I thought you'd definitely be on. What I'll do is give me 3 lives. So that's my first life.
I'll give you another clue. And one of the other remaining names is also currently playing.
It's got to be Will Jordan.
Incorrect.
Oh no. I'm probably leaving so much players out on the table here. Oh no. I've got one more life. So he's still currently playing.
He's number 10, by the way. Well, joint number 10.
Is there any forwards?
I wouldn't have thought so, although
Yeah,
you
that's
could
fine.
say that one player on this list could play just about anywhere. I feel so smug. I've got the answers right here, and then it's just like, oh yeah, you're terrible.
Oh, you think it's so easy. Like, I'm gonna go for. Oh, here's a. It's not a rogue one. Probably quite a. Sivivatu.
No.
No. Oh my goodness. Okay then. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Who is it? I got 5. That's woeful.
Well, it's probably better than what I would have got in. So tied in with Bowden Barrett was Jeff Wilson on 44.
Oh no way.
7th was Ben Smith on 39.
Yeah.
Number 8 was the legendary Jonah Lomu, who I kind of hinted with the whole some people thought he could play anywhere. He was on 37.
I can't believe I just. I can't
Yeah,
believe.
so that's that. I mean, top try scorers, I would immediately just think, oh yeah, probably Jonah Lomu, but whatever. And then tied on 36 with 9 and 10 is Tona Umaga
Oh yeah.
and Rico Ioane, both on 36.
No way. Guess what the really annoying thing is with that is I actually know, like, I literally know all these players and I grew up watching all these players. Obviously not long, but like the Umaga, he's still at Fiji. No, sorry, Moana Pacifica. He was at Samoa national team. I'm pretty sure. Then he was at Moana Pacifica coaching last season, definitely. Absolute legend. He was an All Blacks captain. Likes of Jeff Mossy and Goldie played in the wing with Lomu, and then you had Colin at fullback. That was just like a crazy golden era, like having like Lomu, Wilson, and Colin as your back three. And look at them; they're all in the top try scorers of all time. Obviously, Julian Savea, the boss, he was called. Barrett will go on to score more. Same with Nico Ioane, and I swear Will Jordan, I think, will beat Doc Howlett's record. I mean, how many away is he now? Like 16 away? 17 tries away to beat it, 16 to equal it. Surely he'll win it, he'll get that. He's got
Well,
to.
time will tell.
Yeah, anyway. Right, what we're going to do is swiftly move on from that absolute abysmal embarrassment that I just produced there. But let
Yeah,
me
you've
know.
been watching rugby for longer than me, and you've just embarrassed yourself on the podcast you created.
Yeah,
Yeah, how
yeah.
embarrassing.
It's absolutely dreadful. I might give you 100% rights now instead of just 50%.
I think it's a good
Next,
thing there wasn't a forfeit.
yeah, exactly. Next week, what we'll do is it'll be Andy's turn, so you'll be under the pressure and see how you like it. But no, from now we're just got to move on. So, financial crisis in rugby, which I briefly mentioned it in the intro. What actually is going on? Like, just at this current moment in time, I can name an international team and then a few internationals and a club team, just like who are having difficulties, and it's like it's not small difficulties either. It's like it actually has like a big knock-on effect, which in long term will be quite catastrophic. So, the first one I want to touch on, is Ulster Rugby. Like Andy, what's going on with Ulster Rugby?
So their new CEO, his name escapes me, but he did an interview with the BBC and said that they have a current deficit of between £2.5 to £3 million.
2.5 to 3 mil.
Yeah,
Right. Okay. Is that just from the last season?
I'd imagine so. I don't know if it's lingering debt or anything else, but he
Yeah.
says that they've got a plan in place that within 2 to 3 seasons they should be able to break even.
That's
But
quite
they are
that's quite
also
impressive. That's quite
what's
impressive.
it?
Like £1 million per season.
Yeah.
I mean, I have no idea. I don't think they're looking at cup players because I mean, I know that big names like they've got Ian Henderson, who's a captain, second row. They've got Balakoon, who's the winger. Who else have they got? They've got Rob Herring, but the thing is like Herring's like third choice for Ireland. I have as hooker. They've got McCloskey. Now I think McCloskey is really underrated in the centres. They've also got the winger, the one that burst onto the scene, Jacob Stockdale. Jacob Stockdale is another winger, but like other than that, a lot of the players are like you watch them on TV and you see their names and you're like, oh yeah, here he is. But it's not your first name that comes to mind when you think of Ireland. Like they're nowhere near the Irish setup. So I don't know what big names like you can even get off like the wage bill if they're looking to like cut wages. Another way like I suppose they could look at is by cutting like funding for like regional rugby, like age grade rugby, going into their schools because they'll have their province that they pump money into there. I don't know exactly how it works in the IRFU. It could be a bit different, but I just know it's just not looking good, bruv, especially for that much money. Just remember, even though it's professional era, like there's not that much money in rugby still. Like some of these players, this will be a full time job for them just now, but they won't be set for life. Some will, but not a lot of them, especially a team like Ulster, who, let's be honest, are like they're not the best team in Ireland compared to like Leinster, uh, who is able to sign like
No, 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 I'm going to stop you right there. Leinster haven't won fuck all in the last 3 seasons. Munster have. A lot of Irish people, everybody thinks, oh yeah, Leinster, they're the big successful team. No, 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 no. They've lost 3 finals in a row, and they weren't even the last Irish team to win the URC. So,
yeah,
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 I'm
yeah.
going to be switching my phone off for about 2 hours after this podcast goes live now.
The point what I was going to say is compared to Leinster, who's able to sign a world class player in every single position, is literally like if you think of it like I'm not going to read out their team, take forever, but they'll just wait to sign like RG Snyman, and then they'll wait to sign Jody Barrett on a half year loan. Whether or not that's still going ahead, I don't know, but that was the last that I heard that it was going ahead. Even though like it's half a year loan for Jody Barrett, that's still got to be a lot of money you're paying to have somebody over. I mean, what's one looking for? The publicity wise, it's huge. just like a lot of their players, like they're absolute superstars, most of them in the Irish rugby setup. I think what also helps Leinster would be that the IRFU actually pay a lot of their players. I don't know if it's like the full amount, like 100% of the wage, but it's definitely a good chunk, which means the wage bill for Leinster is they're able to spend it elsewhere, such as for like Zabara and Snyman coming in. So there is that to it. Whereas Ulster don't have that luxury because they've not got that big success, and I don't know. It just doesn't. It's just not the same. They've never really been the same. Yeah, up there with the big dogs, but not for a long time anyway. Who else is that? Samoa. That's the international team that I was going on about. Like they just came out and said they're absolutely broke. I mean, it's a very very corrupt system they've got on there with their director of rugby is also their country's president. I think there's something like that anyway. And like it's just a very corrupt way that like how things go on there. I know that there's like money in the books just being like fiddled with, and I'm not quite sure where it's went, and it's just not looking good, bro, like whatsoever with them. When was it? When they came over to play? I'm trying to think who it was again. There's been a few. Oh, it was England. The British show at Twickenham. When they came over, England actually had to pay for them to come over because they literally couldn't afford it. Like imagine being an international side and not being able to pay to travel overseas. I know it would cost cost quite a bit, but an international side should be able to provide that, and they couldn't. But they're getting money from World Rugby. They will be getting sponsorship. They'll be getting money. Well, you would think they'd be getting money from this Moana Pacifica, but they're not because that's actually a New Zealand club, which I mean that's very misleading, very swaying, if you ask me. So it's not once again not looking good for them whatsoever. They've got some absolute superstars as well, like crazy good players. It looked like nearly beat England at the World Cup. Imagine
Yeah,
nearly beating England at the World Cup, and then having to be reminded that's the team that paid for you to come over to play for them against them. Sorry, it's like bloody hell. It's mental. Scotland, England, and Wales, they're fine, but they're not at the same time. This is where I'm getting on to like in the long term it's going to have knock-on effects and could be quite catastrophic. Look, my experience with like the SRU, they are just cutting funding a hell of a lot, and they're doing it by percentages. So it's like if you're not getting X amount of like pupils coming from the school that you're coaching at coming into the club, then we're cutting your funding. You shouldn't have like a development officer deal in that school, which I think is ridiculous because literally, if you just have a few players coming down, like if you've got a few schools and you've got a few from each school coming down, that's enough. Because then you have players from that don't not at school that are coming in, and it's just such a like fucked up kind of system. That's how you use just always by percentages, and don't actually realise this is actually keeping some clubs like alive in the age grades section in that aspect. Same with England. They are just kind of protecting their big dogs, but from like my knowledge, what I'm like being told, even the smaller clubs, like my own club actually, who's able to field three teams at times, like they're not getting the support and the funding compared to these big clubs who've actually got the same amount of competitive teams, or maybe one more competitive team, but because like they're that big club, they just get money thrown at them, absolutely thrown at them, and then we are left to like not suffer and rot. But it kind of looks like that from the outside looking in, but that's just all down to saving money and seeing where the potential's at, and keeping money and as much money as possible where the potential could be instead of keeping the grassroots alive. Which I mean, it does have a knock-on effect because even though you're not going to get big superstars from these small clubs, you might get the odd one or two, but as like support, as like people like paying to watch the rugby on whatever like broadcasting channel it is, it's them going to Twickenham for a day out, even though it's an absolute stinking fortune to go to Twickenham. But it's all these things, so it's just got that massive knock-on effect, and participation over time will just decrease, especially in these smaller clubs, which does keep rugby alive in the community. And Wales is Wales. They've been financially struggling for a while. Like the players took pay cuts. I mean, fair play for taking pay cuts because imagine you work at your job and they told you, I'm really sorry, we're going to have to half your wage. Would you be okay with that? I mean, if you're on 100k a year, going to 50k, you're still getting by, but at the same time, you're probably thinking, like, okay, I'm going to maybe try to go elsewhere. So it takes a lot of loyalty to actually do that. And also because they've got like their residency rule where you've got to play 25 games at club level. It's 25 games at club level before you can leave Wales and still play for Wales. Like leave Wales club wise and then play for Wales internationally. So it's like they had to think about that as well. Big up and coming players who've just had their wages cut, but they're at the time where they want to be earning good money. It's just a mess really. But they seem to get just kind of scrape by, and we'll just kind of see how it runs next kind of couple of years. But I think they'll be fine. They've got Gartland back in charge, and I think Gartland will manage to pull them through. Not saying they'll be anywhere near what they once were, like winning Grand Slams and Six Nation titles and getting to World Cup semi-finals, but it's just sad to see, really, especially in this day and age where money's going about in sport a lot. That's me.
Rant over.
Yeah, but that's it. But I mean, I don't know if you've got any experiences, Andy, but that's just mine. I know I rambled on there. I don't even think I blinked or drawn a breath there.
No, I think you've covered it, to be honest, yeah.
And hopefully I made sense. But I was literally just rambling off the top of my head for half of that, which I don't usually can't do, but I just shows how passionate I am. But that's just me anyway. Right. Last thing. Welcome back to the Guess Who. Last week I won 3-1. I was maybe a little too harsh on Andy Moe. My answer was Gregor Townsend, and he chose Willie LaRue. My clues were, once again, the first three were pretty brutal, but he was a bit more easygoing. So this week, hopefully it's going to be a bit more fair, but this current scoreline is 3 points to me, 1 point to Andy. Let me know at home what score you are. Remember, keep your own tally as we go on, because there'll be a winner between me and Andy at the end of the year, or the end of the next season, should I say. And yeah, maybe we'll have a forfeit for that one. We'll just have to see how it goes. I went first last time, Andy, so your turn to go first.
Yeah. Okay, so clue number 1. I was born on the 30th of March, 1978, making me 46 years old.
19th of March, 1978.
30th of March, 1978, yeah.
You're a 46-year-old. I'd like to say him, but I think he's a bit older. I'll go for it. Ronan O'Gara.
Incorrect. I played at either fullback, fly half, or wing. That's question number 2.
I think I've got it. Chris Patterson.
Fuck off! How do you get this?
I was thinking O'Gara, and I was thinking Patterson. I was torn between the two of them in my mind, and I thought Patterson was a bit older. I could have got my first one. Chris Patterson, here we go. 4 points.
I thought that was a really obscure one, but apparently not.
No, 4 points to Mr. Kelly. Yes. Right, okay, you've got. I don't know how you're going to beat that, but you're going to have to get a few points so I'm not like pulling away in the first few weeks. Right. Clue number 1. I am 29 years old. I'm 6 foot, weighing 120 kilos, and I was born in Bristol.
Well, he's got to be a winger. Feo Boboso.
Incorrect. I captained my former club Leicester Tigers to their first league title in 9 seasons in the 2021-2022 season.
Ellis Genge.
Oh, correct! No way! Oh, fair play. Nice. So my third clue, that's a shout and a half. Fair play on that one. Did you just know he was captain, or was it just a stab in the dark?
To be honest, it was the whole Bristol thing, and then Leicester. I'm like, okay, let's go for Genji. So I didn't think he would be that young, though. How old did you say he was?
29.
Oh, 29, right, I misheard you then. Yeah.
No, 29, My clue number 3 was that same season he announced he would depart Leicester Tigers to rejoin his boyhood club, Bristol Bears. Number 4 would be represented England 58 times, having won one Six Nation title in 2020, a silver at the Rugby World Cup 2019, and a bronze in 2023. And his nickname is Baby Rhino.
Yeah, I would have gotten that eventually.
Fair play. What was the last 3 clues for Chris Patterson?
Chris Patterson, I said number 3. The majority of my club career was played in Scotland. I won 100. Number 4 was I won 109 caps for Scotland, gaining 809 points. And number 5, I am currently a pundit for Premier Sports.
Yeah, like it's one that, like I just think I don't think we'll ever like top that. 4 points each. Like I generally don't think we'll ever top that. What does that leave us on? I'm on 7 points and you're on 5, so it's 7 to me, 5 to you. So it's still pretty close, to be fair. So I'll just leave a little note of that for next week. Right. Apologies to anyone at home who didn't actually get the answer there because I didn't expect it to be that quick, to be fair. But if you did, and if you did get in the first and second clue, leave a comment below. I'd be so intrigued to know, because I think they were relatively hard. I think it was just like we've been on the ball like today, like this whole week we've just been like thinking, living and breathing rugby. So I think we're just lucky. But let me know in the comments below whether it was a difficult one, whether it was an easy one. But yeah, okay then. That's us for this week. I hope you really enjoyed the podcast. And anything to say, Andy, before you go? Praying for a new hairline by next week.
Fucking hell, he's.
Hey, you
Anyway,
said
don't forget, I should mean, to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button, and give yourself shit in the comments for being a dick.
Yeah, whatever. Right, guys, thank you very much for that, and I'll see you next time. Take care.